Alright, I'm back. I'm back. So, if anybody has a question about the game, feel free to I don't know what they call it, like tagging or something, to where my name shows up in the big black box. That way it's easy for me to see.
The United Nations can fight off.
It has been a long build cycle. A very long. This one was rough. I know I say that every time I get back on stream. I say that same thing. Oh my god, this build was rough. This one was like especially rough. When will this game be released to public? That's a good question. I haven't gotten that one yet. We are currently focused on the next build. We hope to have the game out when it's ready. I don't know how else to really say it. Really, when this build comes out, it really just depends on the issues that we find, you know, the bugs that are reported, how catastrophic they are. You know, we have a timeline. I'm hesitant to speak on it, because if something comes up, nobody's gonna remember that you said, oh hey, you know, it's dependent on this. All they will remember is you said this time frame. So we've made that mistake once before, and we will not make it again. So all I'll say on the question of when it's going to be released is we definitely believe it will be released this year. I would say earlier in the year, but that's pretty much as close as we'll go there. Did you FAP to this build yet? Okay, great question. Next question. Have you guys fixed the issue that Caster had when going to the shooting range? Which issue was that? You have to be a little bit more specific. And I'm going to be running through the campaign, so there's going to be some spoilers. So if you guys are not down with spoilers, then you might have to peace out, because some of that I'm gonna have to go through.
See?
You know what I mean?
That wasn't too bad, right? That'll be all for now. Your next stop is the gun range, where you'll meet... Well,
did you have
just
fun making this?
there.
Oh my god, yes,
This
absolutely. This has
to get
been
interesting.
a passion project. We've enjoyed every second of making this game. Dealing with the community and coming up with cool features and getting those features implemented. Yeah, this game has been a blast to work on. See, we added some features to the chat box, so you can expand it now. And we also have a configuration button here that you can click, so you can set the window transparency. So, you know, if I hover off of it, the window goes away. So basically it doesn't kind of clog up your screen, and when you put your mouse back over, it comes back on. And there's some other settings in here. Some people didn't want notifications going in general, so now you can configure exactly which messages go into that you funnel into general font size, and that's it there. How will you know if I get beta access key? There will be no keys. The next state will be open alpha. No keys will be needed. You'll just go onto Steam, download it, and play it. So there won't be any keys needed for the next phase. If you think, I think you guys should. I would agree. I would love to stream more often, but you know, we work a lot on this game. This, you know, only so many hours in a day, so it's tough to be able to break out some time to stream, and then
hey there.
You know, whatever
So you're the new cadet, huh?
hours we're spending
Nice to meet
streaming,
you.
we're
My
not
name's
developing,
Potty Mouth.
so it's tough.
Yeah, it's just a nickname, you know. I tend
Thanks
to
for
drop a bomb
asking.
or two.
We actually
By
already
the
have a
way, the
casting
language is
director on the
colorful, so
project.
Make sure no kids are around. Got it?
So we're good to go on
Great.
VA.
So, let's get started.
But we do appreciate it though.
Each new cadet is equipped with a service rifle.
I'm gonna have to go
to
Divinian. Sorry,
or 4
but
keys
you
on your
know,
keyboard,
I'm just
depending
one
on the
person,
class
so
that
it
you
doesn't
select.
really matter
Most
much.
classes start out with a different rifle. If you don't have a rifle, rapid fire projectile is your go-to skill.
Yes,
Hey,
that
don't be a
issue's
fucking
been
idiot.
fixed.
You and I both know what's happening here. Best we just get through this so we can get to the fun stuff, okay? Glad to see you're a fast learner. Let's get to it, shall
So
we?
the issue you're
No.
referring to
You only
basically
use up
is
those
that
tickets, and you'll have to find another
you're
way to get
stuck
to
with
one.
rapid fire projectile going into the gun range. And yes, now each class has a primary and a secondary rifle, which each class starting with an assault rifle. So you don't have to use rapid fire at the gun range, and that's for all classes. Okay, I can't read chat right now because I gotta focus because I don't want to mess this up. How's the volume, the sound, my voice, the game's sound level? How was that? Is that all right? All right, give me a second. As soon as I get 25, I'll read chat again. All right, 25. All right, do you need any processing? I already answered that one. Release keys, I already answered that one. Will we get the option to disable level class stamina bar above the character's head at some point? No, I don't foresee us doing that, making that an option. What's the biggest challenge in game dev?
Ooh, not too bad, cadet.
Woo.
Next on you're dead.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
because
Head
there's
upstairs
so
and find
many
private
moving
gigs to get
parts
started on attack
to
mode.
game for
Good
game
luck out there,
development. Usually you have a ton of people that can be responsible for individual pieces. But because we don't have a ton of people, because we don't have like, you know, investors or a ton of money, I would say definitely the challenge is just being able to manage all of the moving parts and making sure that we try to address the most important things, but also, you know, I guess paying attention to detail to all the, you know, individual things that need to be managed. So that's why we're really appreciative of any support that we get, you know, signing up for Maiden Plus or anything like that, because it allows us to bring more people in. You know, like we were able to bring Hikari in as a community manager, and I can't tell you how helpful that's been for us, because then, you know, that's one less thing that we have to focus on so we can focus on other things. So, you know, definitely helps when we're able to get more support from Maiden Plus, powered by Patreon, so that we can help expand the team. Do you know how much the game will cost? It's a free-to-play game. It costs $0. It costs a whole lot of nothing. $0 to play League of Maidens. So, you're good. It's going to be a single-player game upon release. It has, obviously, as you can see, multiplayer features. But we're not billing it as a multiplayer game because there's no multiplayer lobby. It is something that we would like to do. But really, it just depends on the support that we're able to get once the game releases. Will be something change in quest system? Yes, quite a bit actually. There's quite a few more quests, and I mean, yes, definitely a lot of changes in the quest system. Every build cycle will have lots of quest changes.
Wasn't too hard in the darling. I could hear his jabbering from over here. Not to worry. This here's
Is Steam going to give you guys a hard time for coming out with a game that can be considered a little revealing? No, I don't think so. Steam has actually been very helpful as far as, you know, working with us, and there have been some hiccups here and there, but you know, I would, you know, say we have a great relationship with Steam. We're able to communicate with them directly, and you know, the guy that I talk to there is super awesome, and you know, yeah, I think that we're way past that time where, you know, there was the whole taboo about sexy games on Steam. I think they've openly embraced sexy games, and I don't really think there's any looking back. So I think we're past all that. Will there be any F2P grind to get paid elements of the game? No, there will not. We have a very and it was designed to be that way, because most games will have paid stuff, and that same paid stuff you can grind to get. We've chosen to have a very distinct line between what is paid and what's not paid. For instance, like Black Desert, you'll pay to get in, and then you pay for the outfits, and you can grind for the outfits. Well, you still had to pay to get in, right? So ours is completely free to play, and there are some cosmetics that you get for free, and there's some cosmetics that have to be paid, and there's a very clear line between the two.
You come back anytime. Be glad to have you.
So again, thank you everybody who decided to jump on and chill out with us on this chill stream. Really cool of you guys to show up.
Welcome, Cadet. Dr. Fang, proceed.
Colonel, allow me to introduce our latest innovation. The W.
What's the difference in this model?
At first glance,
I like how
Maidens
dude is
deceived
like,
by her
what's the
appearance,
difference?
but
And
let me
it's
assure
my
you,
dialogue.
her
I
looks
wrote
are
it, right?
quite the
But
same. We've
it's just
struggled in
like,
the past to
bitch,
unlock
you were
genetic
talking about me,
plan
and I'm
to
standing
adapt the human
right
cells
here.
to specification.
Fuck you mean?
But today,
What's the
we are
difference
proud
in
to
this
convey
model?
that the WM7 has reached a
But
new height of achievement.
That just goes to show how much of a
WM7s
douche
can now, on
Colonel
the
Myers is.
molecular
So
level, be
and
configured
that was
for
very much
classifications
done
that
on
directly
purpose.
Target the objective. At the moment, we have 5 classifications.
Rest of the game
and
currencies
more
we
are
have
on the horizon.
diamonds, golds, and
This
shards.
is how we stop whatever is in the fog. With everything running smoothly, we should
So
be
this
ready
one
to
is not
demonstrate
Kira. This is
capabilities
somebody
in a
else.
month's time.
Major Frost is Kira.
month?
For those of you who
With
didn't
all due
know,
respect,
the
fact,
actress that plays
come all this
Major
way
Frost
just
is
for an
Kira
introduction.
Buckland. She's
The
done,
UNDC has upgraded your
you know,
facility
all
with
kind of
computer and treatment
amazing,
equipment.
you know, AAA
Alliance soldiers for
projects.
security,
Probably the one she's
a
known most
state-of-the-art
for is playing
training
2B
simulator, and
on
much more.
Nier Automata.
Time is of the essence, Doctor. In case you've forgotten, the fog is growing. Who knows what its size will be in a month's time?
There's
Your
a
previous
breakdown
soldier missions have
that
resulted in
a bunch of,
complete failure.
well, actually, for sure,
This
one person
seems
has
like the
done
next logical step. I believe-
on our Discord
That
for
sit tight.
the cost of
We'll be ready
outfits.
for a
So
mission run down
you could jump
shortly.
on the Discord. I mean, it would be impossible for me to communicate that to you here. So as far as the cosmetics go and the cost, there's a pretty decent breakdown that one of our users did that you can check out on Discord.
An assessment of your progress. It's pretty simple, actually. Shoot at anything that shoots at you, and make it to the next checkpoint before the time expires.
I think the voice actors did a great
The
job.
field operator will be in contact during the mission.
They did an
Although
amazing
this is a
job.
simulation, the mission run is very much treated like the real thing. You'll be breaching an enemy facility housing a secret weapon.
Now,
that
the
needs to be
next
destroyed
phase
before
is
its
going to be
deployment.
open alpha. No
Additional
keys will
intel
be
to complete
needed.
The mission will be provided by the assigned field. Good luck.
Do this. So we made a lot of changes to mission mode. Fixed a lot of stuff. Added mission mode goals. We also have mobs in mission
This is
mode now.
command. Alpha unit come in. I'm
You see the
hacking
goals
into
up at the
system
top
to retrieve the
left
target's
there.
location.
Oh my god. So you can dodge those missiles now. We weren't able to do that before, which is
Initiating
pretty
facility
unfair.
scan. They're calling for backup. Proceed with caution.
I gotta concentrate on this as to not mess up, but I will. Man. Get away. Oh, did I miss somebody?
Target acquired. You've passed the halfway point. Keep up the pace. You're getting closer to the Titan.
Oh, man. What do you mean by visor mode? Like scope? What are you talking about? Oh my god. No! Get away! If you mean a scope, you already have a scope. It's man.
The enemy Titan is beyond the next door. Proceed with extreme caution.
We already have a scope. It's a upgrade. It's a gun upgrade. Under gun config. Here, you open up a slot and then you can add a scope to it, which I don't have one, but you can buy one from Potty Mouth in the or you can loot it in an epic crate. So some of the changes we made with this boss, you can actually dodge the bullets now, the missiles
Don't
now,
waste any
which was
time.
pretty
Break
impossible
into
to
attack
dodge
formation
before.
and destroy the target.
We increased the HP to make it a little bit more challenging because it was pretty weak before. So I'm going to test play again, because the play again button has always been pretty problematic. So I'm gonna run it again just to make sure play again works. How long would you say it takes to best the campaign? I don't know. I can't really say that because we're constantly changing the quests, adding new quests, changing
Alpha
stuff
unit
around.
come in. I'm
So it's
hacking
pretty
into
tough
the system to retrieve the
to
target's
speak on
location.
that. I mean, there's, even though it's in alpha, there's, oh my god. Yeah, we're constantly adding stuff. Thank you very much, Braddock. Really appreciate that.
I'm in. Initiating facility scan. I still haven't located the target. Hang in there. They're calling for backup. Proceed with caution.
Nice. So you're getting to see. Oh, guys want to hide, huh?
Target acquired.
Getting the opportunity to see some of the new
Keep up
mobs
the pace. You're getting closer to
in
the
action.
Titan.
If we go in that direction, it'll
The
be
enemy Titan is
multiplayer.
beyond the next door. Proceed with extreme caution.
Co-op is kind of like dipping your toe. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it all the way. So, it really, again, just depends on the support we get from the community. You know, going multiplayer and having servers and all that kind of stuff costs. You know, we definitely need to hire someone to help with that. So.
Don't waste any time. Break into attack formation and destroy the target.
Slow motion. I apologize if this something. What time is the patch? Generally the patch is later in the day, evening of the day. We don't usually give a time. We just say it'll be in the evening, because sometimes what'll happen is some major issue will come up and we'll have to work on it all night, and there'll be some times where the patch is supposed to come out that evening and it doesn't come out to the 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, because we found something. So far this build has been pretty good, so
Hello there, Cadet.
I don't envision we'll have, well, God, I don't want to say that out loud, because I'm gonna say that and we're gonna have a big problem. So far there's not been a big issue, so it'll be evening tomorrow. I didn't hear from anybody. How is the sound? Is the sound okay? The volume level of my voice in the game, is it all right?
Cadet, there are some new developments in Freedom City. Meet Major Frost in the command center as soon as possible.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Welcome, Cadet.
We've only isolated these locations for now, but there's bound to be more civilians stranded in the city. We've got to get them out of there.
Get Private Sanchez and Ryder on this. They could use some time in the field to sharpen their senses.
This is Kira.
Welcome back, Cadet. We didn't get a chance for a formal introduction. Major Gale Frost, commanding officer in charge of the operation to combat the fog and overseer of Project Warm.
The security
Impressive
badge
performance
actually
out there.
had the
Colonel
quest
Myers was
line
impressed.
for the security
I hate
badge
to
is
throw
in
you
the
right
game
back
now.
into the fire like this,
So
but it looks like
you'll
we'll need
figure
you
it
in the
out when
field
you play.
sooner than we thought. We've been attempting to monitor any new developments within Freedom City. Alpha Team, the first wave, was sent in with a team of drones
Thank you very much,
23 hours
Mixon.
ago.
We really
and
appreciate
we've since had
your
radio
kind
silence
words
for
there.
21. Nothing on comms, no feeds from the drones.
Yes,
You'll
that's
be
what we're
part
doing.
of the
Well,
second wave.
I'm more
Your
testing,
primary
doing
objective
some
is to
last minute
locate Alpha
testing.
Team. Best case scenario, They're still
in the
kicking
process
out there in
being
need of
able to
support.
show new stuff. So
Needless to
in
say,
case anybody has
we don't
any
have a lot of
questions.
intel from the last mission. We do, however, have GPS data from several PRDs dropped at Alpha Team's last known coordinates. The new development?
Oh, thank you.
We've
I appreciate
got civilians
that.
in the field. Somehow, they were able to make successful radio contact going out of the fog. We've got their
Oh, cool.
coordinates.
Oh,
We'll be
Gremory
looking to you for an
DXD.
immediate
Oh my
security
god, you're like one of the coolest
On the outskirts of the city are two
commenters on
resistance camps.
Patreon.
They aren't part of our initiative. Steer clear
If
if
you're
run
part
into
of our
any its
Discord,
members. They've
private
got a
message
history
me.
with General Michaels, and we
if
aren't
you
looking to
can.
provoke them. You know, I've seen.
But
your
I really
kind in action
appreciate
before.
every time we put up something
The
on
trial runs
Patreon.
before
You're
the
always
War
there
Maiden
with the
project
positive
became
comments.
official.
People don't
At first,
realize
I was
that,
opposed to
you
the
know,
idea of activating
posts
General
like you
Michaels' little
make,
pet
we like
project
live
with
and
kids
breathe
like you
off that
involved.
stuff. I mean, it
Then
really
I met the
helps
champions.
to
Those commemorations at the entrance corridor.
fuel
Whoever
us,
hoped to
you
be
know
a
what I
tenth
mean?
as good
Gives
as
us
the
the
likes of
drive and
Erica Johnson
motivation,
in the League of
you know,
Maidens. This
to
is where it all
do a really
starts.
great job on this project. So I don't want it to be
A
lost
group of
that,
5 stand-up
you know, we
individuals have
really
paved the way for
appreciate
your opportunity here
all of your
today.
really nice comments
They
on
were
our
the first.
Patreon posts.
Hopefully they'll not be the last. You'll be escorting Private Sanchez and Ryder into this. You'll get further instructions once you're there. Welcome to the team, Cadet.
I'm not a big fan of physical merchandise.
Cadet, this fog, it's starting to spread and the bodies are piling up. Freedom City is ground zero, and it's my responsibility to prevent this thing from spreading, no matter what the cost.
How can I help you today?
If you run into anything out there, give 'em hell.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate the support. As far as physical merchandise, I've never been a big fan of physical merchandise because it just doesn't sell. I've owned many businesses in my day, and physical is just a tough sell, you know, without like extreme brand recognition. So, you know, I see people see like t-shirts or, you know, cell phone cases and posters and stuff like that. That's all good. And maybe, you know, it would be, once you get to the point where you're doing physical, well, you wouldn't want to do physical until you have established, you know, your revenue streams, right? Physical is just would be an added revenue stream that wouldn't be expected to be like this massive thing. And so the problem is that right now, all we can focus on is the massive stuff, you know? So physical is just, you know.
Ay, oh Dios mío, a war maiden?
Well, I'll be damned. Looks like Command is pulling out the big guns on this one. Don't be alarmed. Base exterior has been evacuated as a precaution.
Yeah, I'll show the character customization
Once we
system.
get whatever's
Absolutely.
happening under control, operations will be back to normal. The name's Ryder. Private Marcus Ryder. This is Private Louis Sanchez. If you're worried about the lack of prep time, and you'll have to roll with the punches. We're kind of running short on time with the fog spreading and all. Quicker we act, better chances we have of locating Alpha Team. Alive. You've been through enough training on rescue recons, from my understanding, through the UNDC, before the War Maiden project officially went online. You should be fine out there. Just a walk in the park as far as your kind is concerned. We'll just need to head in, locate Alpha Team, and get the civilians back in one piece. I don't suppose you picked up a porter on the way out? They aren't standard issue. New tech from Dr. Fang. Didn't think they were handing them out like Pop-Tarts, but I figured I'd ask. Not to worry. You're gonna need to use a launcher to get to the center of the city. It's a long trek without the launcher, and I'd like to get in and out before dark.
That's wishful thinking, amigo. Alpha Team's been gone for almost 24 hours. This won't be easy.
Stop scaring the rookie, Sanchez. No need for the melodrama. Launches up front.
Yeah, the
it's
first,
as simple as stepping on. The rest takes care of itself.
Which is
You
the
out
same
there,
pretty
cadet?
much with any other game, right? The first portion of the game is going to be kind of tutorial stuff, you know, showing you how to play the game, what to do, all that kind of stuff before you get in and just wreck shit.
Titus, cabrón! Relax, Sanchez! Jesus Christ!
Well, turns out these porters aren't quite ready for action. Frank's been working on these for months. Figured they'd be good to go by now. Guess not.
Estúpido.
You done, Sanchez?
Eres un hijo de la gran puta.
Right. Like, I know what that means. Listen, rookie, looks like we're about 2 clicks north of your current position. Meet us at this rendezvous point, Alpha Team's last known location. Start heading in that direction ASAP. Don't stop for anything. Nothing, you hear me? See something that looks out of whack? Make a note and we'll come back to check it out.
You already hear something
See
funny
anyone,
about
let them know we'll be back once we've regrouped.
The lines from Sanchez?
We'll make this work, trust me. Ryder out.
Cadet.
I'll tell you in a
Ryder and
second.
Sanchez are further out than he indicated. His positional reading may be compromised because of the porting failure. The distance is still manageable. It shouldn't be too difficult if you don't run into any trouble on the way. I'm monitoring your vitals. Stay calm. Nothing to worry about. Not yet, at least.
So once we get past this, the intro part, I'll go back into the city and show you some of the grinding stuff. But the the funny thing about the Sanchez's lines is I wrote those lines, and then I sent them to Kira because she's also the casting director. And then she goes, the lines for Sanchez, I think there's something off about the lines for Sanchez. I have a friend of mine who's the voice actor who is going to be reading these lines, and he had, you know, just a couple of suggestions. And I just completely messed up. It's kind of hard to describe how I messed up the lines, but they were just way off. So I ended up having to have a Peruvian friend of mine help me write those lines. Like, if someone was Latin and they wanted to curse somebody out, basically, how would they curse somebody out? And so you see, Sanchez's first lines is the puta and all that, but the stuff that I wrote just did not sound like a Latin person would speak like that. So I ended up having to get a Peruvian friend of mine to help me write those lines, and they turned out awesome. So that's the benefit of having somebody like Akira on the project to help kind of point out when there's some things that are off, so that you can kind of fix them. So there you go. That's a funny story.
Unconscious, but still alive. Wait, that woman. She isn't a civilian at all.
Cadet! The rendezvous point's been compromised! Turn back! Turn back!
Cadet! You've got to act quickly. I'm picking up hostiles just outside your position. Prepare to engage. Prepare to engage!
It's on, like Donkey Kong. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. But I think all in all, it turned out really well. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to get more written and more voiced. We actually going to do way more of that on this cycle. So for 142 is where a lot more of that will come. God, I'm so glad we fixed the fixed the swimming animation. Swimming was totally broken before. Now it's pretty good. thank you for everybody that followed. And a practice target, thank you so much for joining Maiden Plus. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining Maiden Plus and supporting our development. Also, Divine Dude, thank you so much for joining Maiden Plus. Thank you so much for supporting our development. We really appreciate that. Let's see if I missed anybody. Again, thank you everybody who followed. Really appreciate your follow. Following is free, so if you're in the chat and you're not following the stream, just go ahead and hit that follow button. I'm very much looking forward to when we get these lines voiced. The player character is intended to be signed. Oh, that's your card. Try this life. But of course, not everything. I mean, you mean for the voiceover? I mean, not for the, like for this, you know, it's written, right? So you don't really need subtitles, but I guess you're talking about for the voice calls and stuff like that? Yeah, I could see us adding something like that. Subtitles. Thank you for your interest in playing, Spartan. Really appreciate that. And your kind words. So what a skinny maiden with Snoop Dogg's legs. Oh, with Snoop Dogg's voice. Please. Okay. Sure. I mean, yeah. Okay. Well, once the game gets released completely, will there be, you know, any EU servers, or is this one server for all region? We will have multiple servers on full release. Multiple servers in beta. Questionable in alpha.
That's it.
But nothing yet determined.
In and out. In.
We're gonna get a waist-size slider. We're not gonna do any more changes with the character customization system. Like zero. We're not doing any changes before open alpha. We've been down that path already. We do, you know, we'll do like somebody say, hey, we want this. We want the ability to customize, you know, left eye from right eye. And you do it. And literally, by the time you have completed that work and you've announced and shown people that you've done this work, yeah, that's great, but can you do this? And then we literally ran that cycle for 6 months. Well, 4 months maybe. And it just never stopped. So we just had to come to a point where we just said, listen, we gotta, you know, not do, you know, nothing but character customization work. We have an actual game that we have to work on. So we have to kind of pull away. And I totally get that, you know, you want to see, you know, as the best, you know, character customization system, and you know, you want it to be as powerful and as customizable as possible. But I feel like as a 3-man team, we've done a pretty good job with, you know, the system. Good enough to a point that we can confidently put it in open alpha and say, hey, this is our offering for character customization. We hope you guys enjoy it and feel good about ourselves. Did we get everything we wanted in? No, but I feel like it's a good enough system to be able to, you know, say, hey, we did a good job with this. Morgan Freeman's voice, sure. We will get right on that. But hold on, let me write this down so we can be sure to get Morgan Freeman's voice. Sure. Let's see here. Might as well get Tom Cruise already. So see, when I start out new, you know, when you guys, you know, get wiped, guess who else gets wiped? I get wiped too, homie. So, but I actually really enjoy the process of, you know, building my characters. So it just gives me another opportunity to do that. So I'm cool with it.
Glad to see you've come to, Cadet. You've been out for nearly a week.
That's enough, Fang. She's fine. Doesn't have a scratch on her. Cadet, you mind telling us just
we
what
don't
the hell
have
happened out there?
plans for native controller support, but we actually have a channel in our Discord where plenty of people have posted configurations using third-party tools for you to use controllers with League of Maidens.
What about them?
So it is possible. You just have to use a third-party tool for it.
Cadet, you should probably say something.
For God's sakes, don't just fucking stand there. Tell me what the fuck is going on out there.
Major, yelling isn't going to help. She appears to have experienced some sort of trauma.
Like I said, Fang, she doesn't have a scratch on her.
Cadet, you need to tell them what happened.
That's not the type of trauma I was referring to. Give me a few days with her. I'll run some tests, then we will reconvene. In the meantime, I would suggest holding off on any more missions to Freedom City. With time, I'm confident that I can get her talking.
We don't have time, Fang. We've got more soldiers and civilians out there. The fog's grown twice the size in less than a week. At its current rate, this thing is going to spill over well beyond the city.
So the intro,
instead of sitting here yelling at you,
for those of you who have the game and have seen the intro, the images,
please.
That's actually going to be animated.
24 hours. I just
we're working on that too. So that's going to be super cool. It's close. It's not quite there yet, but it's close.
What choice do we have? Interrogating her isn't going to get us anywhere. She isn't talking in her current state.
Okay, fine. 24 hours, Fang. By then, I'll be expecting progress. 24 hours.
Let me change how my gun looks. It doesn't match my outfit.
Who wasn't there? Porters. How did they get their hands on a set of porters? They weren't clear for use. They're still under development. They weren't fully tested. The destination coordinates aren't accurate enough to pinpoint a specific location outbound from the base.
Yeah, there's some cursing. There's some foul language.
Reporting into the city? There's
we actually have a character called Potty Mouth, so.
What did you see? What did you hear? What the hell?
What's with the eagle? That's my pet. It's there for as long as I want it there. If I don't want it there, then I can remove it. You can disable it in character customization.
Someone want to tell me what the hell I'm looking at here? Is this feed live?
It's Macy.
Yes, Major.
Oh, actually,
the feed is live.
Well, I need to name her because I wiped, so I have to give her her name back.
Have disappeared.
Disappeared? When?
Just a few moments ago.
And what am I looking at now? What are those things?
They're called the Fall.
Who the hell is this?
Major, this is Cadet Roberts. She was one of the personnel rescued during the last rescue recon.
Mind explaining how you know what these monsters are called? Oh, and what the hell were you doing out there to begin with?
I snuck out of the base during the Alpha Team mission. I wanted to prove I was ready. I wasn't. As far as the rest, I would explain if I could.
Yeah, I know. The weapons have to match, right?
Somehow, I just know.
That's like a
Major,
violation of
these
some
things are
sort of
spread all
rule if
throughout
it
the
doesn't.
city. They're just roaming. It's like they're searching for something.
All right, talk. None of this I can't remember bullshit.
Major, we've already run Cadet Roberts through verification. She is telling the truth about what she can and cannot remember.
Well, that's awful.
I don't know, maybe. No,
First,
we're not going to
detain
give her a
Roberts and prep her
virus
for
until we're halfway through the story.
Don't overstep your authority, Cadet. This will be your first and last warning. How many WM7s are up for deployment?
5, Major. Cadet Rogers, Ono, Endez, Wellborn, and Morgan.
Get them prepped and on deck. It's time to end this.
There's one more thing. Wilkes. She's extended an invitation. In light of recent developments, we may want to consider it.
Wilkes? Jeez, well I guess hell is officially freezing over. Alright then. I've got a better idea, but we'll have to move quickly. There's no telling what these things will do next. Cadet, Cara Marie Wilkes runs the resistance camp just outside of Freedom City. Go there and collect whatever information you can gather. Like I mentioned earlier, the resistance hasn't exactly been friendly, so you'll have to watch your six out there.
The
No
music
telling what
has
she's
been
really got under her sleeve with this so-called invitation.
challenging.
Understood? Dismissed.
Because, you know, we're developers, right? And it's not like we have the money to hire. I mean, usually there's somebody responsible for that. Like that's all they do.
To make your way out of the base. We should have much trouble finding Cara Wilkes once we're in the city.
Now, before I continue, what you just heard was not voice acting, okay? That was text to speech. And so we already made an announcement about this. So basically, some of the voiceovers that you'll hear will be text to speech, and they're that way as placeholders. So we get the lines in, see how the lines sound, and then we write enough to get it to the voice actors. They do the work, and then we replace the text to speech. So that's, if you hear some stuff and it's like, oh my god, that sounds horrible, that's text to speech. That's why. It's because it's temporary. We're in alpha stage, so remember that. Anyway, the music has been challenging because we're doing so many other things at the same time, but at the same time we want to make sure we have good music in the game. And it wasn't until later on into the project that we were able to hire through Patreon, Maiden Plus. See, there you go. When we started getting those patrons in, and we had a revenue stream in, we can then actually hire somebody to make the music. Generally, when a game is made, there's a whole process of what's the tone of the game, what's the feel of the game, what's the story of the game, and then you create music around that. So we've just now been able to accomplish that, and that's only because of the revenue and the funding we have coming in from Maiden Plus, powered by Patreon. So this music that you're complimenting is, music that we specifically created, and you could tell the difference, just like what you said. Music that was specifically created for this specific situation. That's why it kind of feels like it fits and sounds great, because this is the tone that we wanted to, convey. What? Hold on now. Why are you? She's like, bitch, wrap it up, because you're talking too long. She's like yawning. But in all seriousness, We hired a Russian composer and have been working with him, and he's done several tracks for the game, so it's turned out really well. I'm yawning while I'm talking. Come on now. That was pretty good timing.
Cadet, you'll find Major Wilkes at the Western Resistance Camp. The fastest way to get there would be to take the launcher.
Yes, there's actually already Easter eggs in the game.
The camp entrance. You're likely to run into danger on the way. You're cleared for flight should you need to escape any hurry situations. Press the F key to enter and exit flight mode. Be warned, flying is an advanced method of travel and will require some
So what's really cool now, the biggest addition, I mean, you'll be able to look at Patreon and see the list of all the updates and changes and fixes that we did. But by far, the biggest changes we made, obviously, has been the mobs. So we got some new guys here with repeatable quests. So that's cool. So now, if a NPC has a quest and it's repeatable, you'll see this icon that makes it very clear to let you know that this NPC has a repeatable quest. And another change that we made is that in the well, you can see there's 65 quests just between these two. Just down a little bit while I'm talking. If there's a repeatable quest, you can now see in the quest guide that it's a repeatable quest, and you can also see the number of times you've completed this quest. I think this was a suggestion from the community. I think Spiral Chaotic suggested this, and I thought, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. That's a lot of really cool, good information that we can convey, so we put it in. So, I mean, this process has very much been a community-built game in that we have done our best to, screen feedback and take what we feel like is really good ideas and implement them in the game. Obviously, we can't implement everything. We can't implement most things. But we can pick out the really good ideas and then put them in. And I expect we'll do a lot more of that as we continue development. I can't say anything because I still can't. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna pick these up while I'm here. You really shouldn't if you're new and going through the tutorial part, but I already know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick them up. So some of the new changes. God. Yeah, watch out. Keep your eyes and ears open. Sure, yeah, you can clip anything that we put out. Any footage we put out, you can edit and do whatever you want. That includes any footage on this stream. So anything you see on this stream, you can do whatever with. If the scene looks different now, if it looks more foggy around, that's a weather type. Like some people will go, whoa, it's super foggy. That's because there's multiple weather types. There's really foggy, there's clear sunny day, there's raining, and there's thunderstorm. I'm going to speed through this dialogue in case you guys have not seen it. I can't remember which quests were in the last build and which ones weren't. So I don't want to kind of ruin the dialogue for anybody that, you know, hasn't gone through the quest yet. So she's basically giving me an enemy quest to kill 15 filth, because there's 11 different mob types now. So she's telling me to go kill, you know, a specific type of mob. And we got this new, we have some new tips. We added a feature that when you approach a mob, you will be able to see with the color of their name whether or not, you know, you're under level to be fighting with this mob. And basically, if you see this skull icon beside a mob, it pretty much means that mob's getting ready to whip your ass. So you should probably back off and go find somebody else.
Cadet, I've updated the positions of the enemies on your map. You'll want to focus on the targets at the center of the
one
city.
of the things to note
Remember
is
to
that
stay
in
focused
Freedom
on the
City,
target. Do your best to steer clear of higher level targets and get back to Major Wilkes as soon as you can.
you can see the points where the mobs are, and each mob type, the way we designed it, which is completely new in this build, is that each mob type will have its own rotation, meaning you'll only find filth in a certain area of the map. You'll only find remains in a certain area. You only find the foul in a certain area. So you should be able to, if you get a quest or if you need a specific mob drop, you should know, you know, if you learn the patterns, you'll know exactly where to go. So since this is kind of the starter area, the lower level mobs are going to be here in the middle. These guys here, those are bombers. So they are the first of 3 flying enemies that we've added. And basically the way that they work is they'll come at you, and once they touch you, they blow up, causing pretty big damage. So you want to try to stay away from those bombers, especially when they're in packs. So we have certain enemies are going to be on certain spots of the map in Freedom City and the Necropolis Desert. Freedom City has its mobs. Necropolis Desert has its mobs. Necropolis Desert has way higher level mobs. So you can go there, but if you don't have the right gear or the right level of skills, you're going to get your ass handed to you pretty quickly. So you're going to want to spend some time, you know, farming up in Freedom City, finishing quests, leveling up your skills before you attempt to go to the Necropolis Desert. And then also there will be a certain number of mobs that are roaming around the city. Like you saw that bomber was just roaming. Alright, so I finished that quest. So go back to Kara Wilkes. Yes, you can put clips of the stream into the Discord server, sure. You can do whatever you want. You can put it on Discord server, you can clip the stream out, you can do whatever you want with it. Put it on YouTube, put it on Discord server, whatever. So the next quest she's going to give me is to kill 15 remains. And usually, Cortex will chime in and give you a little information on where to go.
Cadet, The residential area is located south of the resistance camp. I've updated the map with your destination.
Holy shit. Game just sounds super low to me. So I'm gonna bring it up some. Is there different classes? Yes, there's 5 different classes. Speaking of which, I'm gonna see if I can buy that scope for the sniper rifle. 2 more. Alright, that's done. Actually. If you're asking why I'm not picking up the loot, my pet is picking up the loot. So that's one of the reasons to have a pet, is they will pick up loot for you. You can play, yeah, Hikari already answered that one. I'm gonna do a stronghold real quick so I can just test, because we also added mobs, the new mob types to the strongholds. So, since this is really a stream to test. Oh my god, there's foul in here. Oh my god, these guys are, oh my god. Actually pretty freaking ridiculous. Wow. Those guys scare me, out of Freedom City, they scare me the most. The foul. They're pretty freaking vicious. They're fast. They move fast. That is a lot. What enemies were in there? So what happened was, yeah, I'm gonna notate that down. That's 1 too many. So what that probably was is when you go into a stronghold, we will choose 2 enemies to spawn. So this is the swarm right here. And the reason why there were that many foul there, I suspect, is that it chose the same enemy twice, which we generally don't want. So we probably throw some code in there to make sure that the 2 types that it selects isn't the same type, because that was 1 too many of those mean bastards. And so what you'll see is we just killed that swarm, and the swarm dropped this swarm claw. So each mob, even the old ones, the filth, the nightmare, they have 3 different drops. The remains, the zombie ones will drop remains flesh, remains ribs, and remains skulls. So there's 3 drops that each mob will drop. So if you do, 3 times 11, that's 33. So that's one of the reasons why we added 3 more lines to the inventory, because we wanted to make sure we had enough space. So you can see the inventory is much bigger now. And we've also done the same change with the storage to accommodate those new items. Are the world boss or world boss that you need many people to do? Yes, actually. So that's a new feature with this build. I'll talk about that in a second. So this one is to deliver a package to the medic.
Cadet, your map is marked with the location of a medical facility. Getting there via is the safest route. If you're looking for a fight, on foot through the center of the city is where the action is. Good luck out there, Cadet.
So we have this new feature. Well, it's not really new, but we've kind of revamped how it works.
Patching her in now. Cadet, Dr. Fang
So we have this server boss threat level. And the way that it works used to be that world bosses would spawn on the hour. Will there be any crafting or life skills? We already have both. We have fishing, and we have crafting. As a matter of fact, let me see if there's anything I can craft. I can't craft that. So the way okay. Well, there's a lot of new features that go on this one by one. Let me finish talking about the world boss, and I'll talk about the new crafting stuff. For the world boss, this progress bar is server-wide, meaning it used to be that world bosses would spawn every hour. Now they don't spawn every hour anymore. What happens is that every time you kill mobs, build up XP, this bar increases. When it gets to full, the world boss is gonna spawn. This bar is increased by whomever is playing the game, so this is not just yourself. So yes, you can build up this bar on your own. It's gonna take you a longer period of time. So it encourages players to play together, even though this is kind of like a multiplayer feature, you know, in a game that doesn't necessarily have multiplayer as far as lobbies and stuff like that. But you can jump on chat, you know, talk to somebody, say, hey, who's around? Are you in Freedom City? Help me farm these mobs, because I'm trying to get this piece of gear. So the more people that are killing mobs and grinding mobs in Freedom City, the faster this bar is going to raise. And then once it reaches full, the world boss will spawn. 60 minutes after the world boss is killed, what was this thing? 60 minutes after the world boss is killed, the world boss, so basically there's a cooldown time, and then the meter will reset, and then you can do the process again. So that's and this progress bar is specific to Freedom City and Necropolis Desert. So you can be working on either getting the world boss in Freedom City to spawn, which is the big giants, or you can be working on the progress bar in the Necropolis Desert for that world boss to spawn, which is now the Union. Okay, what am I working on here? I will talk about the new reserves in a second, but somebody asked about crafting. So each mob has 3 different drops. Used to be before you could just use gold to level up from to unlock a skill and to level up from level 1 to 15. That's changed now. You cannot use crafting to unlock anymore. You can only use gold to unlock, or if there's a specific item that's needed to unlock, like a bat swarm or size matters. And you can use gold to level up from level 1 to level 5 on a skill. After level 5, gold is still required to craft, but you have to use crafting to go from one level to the other. Oh, I hear somebody. Jesus. Oh, actually, no. This is not a good place to be, because those guys are going to spawn back. I'm going to go up here. Okay. So I've got one-handed sword, and I'm leveling that up, so I'm gonna craft. So I need 5 more C3 grade materia, and I need 2 more bomber wings. So in a situation like this, I'm gonna go to start farming wherever area has bombers and wherever area has C grade reserves. And I'll show you what the reserves look like in a second. That's a new mechanic that we have where you can basically mine for these materials. So each level and skill will have a certain combination of things that you will need. Like, see, so this is level 1 lightning strike. I only need a brown, a white, basically a F1 and E3 and remains flesh. And I can craft this if I wanted to. Or I could just upgrade with gold if I wanted to do it and just secure it, be 100%. But once you get to level 5 and up, you use crafting and you use the drops that you get from the mobs. And that works for skills, perks, and abilities. So I see some questions. So however, people are like tagging me with my name up there in the black box. Be sure to do that if you ask a question, because without doing that, it makes it pretty tough to play and explain and kind of, you know, read at the same time. Got away. Oh, I'm actually gonna go get this sniper scope. Cool. Alright, we're good now. Do the pets have anything to help with the character stats? No, they don't. You know, we're gonna try not to cross that line, you know what I mean? Then it, like, people, I mean, it's one thing if they have a set stat and we can make it available to everybody. Like, for instance, outfits that you buy, cosmetic outfits that you buy have a stat that you can level up, but you have a free outfit, so you could use the free outfit, have that same stat, and level up that same stat. So the fact that you have a alternate outfit that has that same stat that you can level up is fine. But because in this case we don't plan on giving free pets like we have a default outfit, then we really want to try not to do that, because then it's kind of like, oh, you know, pay to win and all this kind of stuff. So it's not something that we really want to do. Not doing that helps us to keep that line where it's like, well, can you grind for cosmetics? No, you can't. But at the same time, you also cannot buy stuff to kind of, you know, make yourself stronger. So you know, we'll have a lot of people go, well, in this game I can grind for cosmetics and I don't have to pay anything. And it's like, well, also in that game you can buy some starter pack that's gonna buff you, and basically it's pay to win. So that's the thing. If you don't want pay to win, then you have to draw a line somewhere, and that's basically how that goes. Give me your guns. Mine shoots BBs. So I had a really good loadout. I got wiped, obviously, so I don't have a good loadout anymore. But there's a lot of really cool combos that you can do with these gun upgrades. Like I like critical shot, rapid fire, obviously, steady hand, and what else? What I'll do? I don't really do the counter. Some people like to see the counter on the aim, on the aim reticle. I'll just look here. It's a little bit further distance to go down and look. It is nice to be able to have the counter on the reticle, but it's not something like that I feel is hard required. So it's an extra there if you want it, but you know, it's not something generally that I will go for. But again, the whole idea about this system is for you to build your own custom configurations for each gun. So I mean, there's a lot of, you know, flexibility there. You can find mods in the epic crates, which are free. No, there's no paid crates in our game. You get crates as drops, so you can find gun mods in the epic crates, and you can just straight up buy mods using gold, like I just did with a gold vendor. Okay, so these are materia reserves, right? So this brown materia reserve obviously will drop brown materia. Basically, it gets F grade materia. So each point in the map will have sections where materia will drop. So Whaling Point North has F class materia, Whaling Point South has E class materia, and then in the Necropolis Desert, there's D, C, B, and A class materia. But each one will step up which mobs are around it that are guarding it, so it's harder and harder. Like basically, and it was funny because I was talking to Blake, my partner, one of the developers. We used to have a daily challenge that said go farm A class materia, basically loot 1 A class materia. And I got it, and I was like, bro, we have to take this out, because now the way that's set up today is very scaled. For you to farm A class materia as a new player is pretty impossible to do, unless you luck up on like there's A class materia in a rare crate, or I don't think there's any A class materia in common crates. So maybe you can get one in a rare crate, or you can get one in a time step reward spin. But outside of lucking out and getting materia that way, it's pretty impossible to get A class materia as a new player, because the area where they exist is so heavily guarded by high level mobs that you'll just die trying. And you can't just like go shooting these A class materia because they're highly resistant to gunfire. So you actually have to go in there and melee those to kind of like a mining type of process, which isn't actually an animation for mining, to get those reserves. So these are the swarm. They sting. once they get close. And so that drops some brown materia for me. So one thing, well, let me get this. So see, the idea is that if I'm in here, right, and I'm trying to get this materia, I've got to mine it. I've got to farm it, get it out of here, because at some point these mobs are going to spawn back, right? So I want to try to get in and out of this area before these mobs spawn back, because it's going to be bad business. So that is F-class materia. The nightmare and swarm rotation is here. So you see there's some nightmare and some swarm here. I believe there's some swarm up there. So once you learn the rotations, or learn at least the areas, the nightmare rotation is like this. The filth is Center City, because that's where you're going to launch with the launchers. The remains is in this residential area in the back. The foul are going to be over this area over here. So you just have to learn where the mobs are, and then you just have to figure out what it is that you need. What are you trying to accomplish, right? So once you figure out what you're trying to accomplish, you'll know where you need to go. So these are the E-class materia reserves, and so they're going to be guarded by the foul and the nightmare. So the foul rotation is down there somewhere, so it kind of connects with there. So it kind of, the arrangement and the placement of the mobs kind of, you know, makes decent sense. Or at least that was the goal anyway. I'm gonna go and get my loot. And so one of the things I did, and this again is kind of a theme of what we've done with this new build. You'll be able to see the patterns if you're paying attention. Is that if I have a plan, right, and I need are there any bows in the game? I really enjoy bows. We used to have bows, but we took them out. We don't have bows right now, and that's because we just didn't do them well. So I wasn't happy with them, so we took them out. But bows will come back at some point, but not until we have, you know, until we do them well. You know what I mean? I don't want to put bows in and they just not be good. But in the base, or some of these repeatable quests will require that you do things that you might be already needing to do. That sounds a little complicated, but let me explain. So I just destroyed those reserves and I got reserves, right? But before I'm gonna go do those reserves, I'm gonna pick up a quest from this guy, the side quest that is asking me to mine F-class reserves. So basically, if I go destroy F-class reserves are F-class is the brown one. If I go mine that, it's gonna drop 1 or 2 brown materia. But if I'm smart, I'll pick up a quest that has me destroying F-class materia, and then I'll go destroy the F-class materia. So what that's going to do is this quest is going to also yield F-class materia, and it's going to give me a light cube. So it's kind of, what I call it is kind of like reinforced tasks. So if I'm already planning to go do something, if there's a quest out there that I can pick up that will help, you know, gain me some more loot, basically reinforce the loot that I'm going to get by doing this task, then I'm going to go do it. So that's why when you saw that I destroyed that materia, I got more materia, was because I actually had a quest that had me mining that materia. And so just like if I need to go, I need some swarm wings because I want to craft something, then I can go pick up a quest that has me killing 15 swarm. And if I look at the quest that has me killing 15 swarm, you'll see it'll give me extra swarm parts just for picking up and completing that quest. And that model that we've built is kind of, once you learn the pattern, you'll be able to figure out how the game works, because that same pattern is structured just with higher levels into different zones. Actually, speaking of which, let's show you a little bit of the Necropolis Desert. I'm probably a little under-leveled still for the Necropolis Desert, but I'll show it anyway.
Cadet, I would strongly recommend returning back to Freedom City. This desert is filled with extremely powerful enemies. Your current power level isn't high enough for you to be in this area. You can view your power level by opening up your inventory. Your power level is located at the bottom of the gear stats panel.
So that's a good reminder, is to show the power level and explain how that works, because that is also new in this build. GeForce NVIDIA now, there's nothing developers are going to need to make it work with NVIDIA now. Basically, it works with existing games. That's why that service is so awesome. Google Stadia would have been a whole other thing, but NVIDIA GeForce Now, any games that you have on your local library, from what I understand, I don't know, I don't have the service, but from what I've heard about the service, you can use any of your past games to work with NVIDIA Now. So you see, I'm in the Necropolis Desert, and they have these desert soldiers now, and they have similar quests, but it's going to be for different things. So here, this is D-class materia. So basically, before it was F and E, in Necropolis Desert, it's going to be D, C, B, and A. Located generally in the same area, but just with harder, you know, much harder mobs. So you saw some, I don't think all, I think you saw, maybe you saw all, I'm not sure, of the mobs there. In the Necropolis Desert, we have a different set of mobs. There's only, I'm trying to think, one mob that overlaps between the two. Is the Swarm exists both in Freedom City and the Necropolis Desert. Outside of that, they're pretty new. Here in the Necropolis Desert, we have the Fiend, we have the Brute, we have the Creepers, we have the Scavengers, and we have the Elementals. So, I mean, this was, I hope you guys really enjoyed this build, and can really appreciate how much freaking work we got in a really short amount of time. I mean, we basically went from 2 mobs to 11 in one build cycle, which is fucking nuts, right? Pretty nuts. Oh, that wasn't a good idea. Oh, that there is a fiend, roaming fiend. Oh my God. Look at that guy. That is one. Nasty looking dude. So again, just like in Freedom City, all these mobs have their own rotations. We actually did maps. Oh my god. They all have their own rotations, and you can find the rotations. So we posted maps in Discord so you can see what the rotations are. Oh man, too many. Are there any restrictions to stacking the same quest? Because I could see people loading up a lot of the same reward quests, reducing the time for grinding. We want that. We want people to figure out innovative ways to loot and grind as quickly as possible. So as a matter of fact, it's purposefully done that way. Obviously there's going to be some restrictions, but you see, basically what the question you're asking is what I just said you should do. I don't know how other developers are with their games, but I don't want to make a game that's unlike how people want to play. If I'm going to go farm for F-class materia, I want to pick up all the quests related to F-class materia, so that, or reserves, so that I can do all of that in one swoop. If I have a quest where I have to kill, 15 fiend, I want to pick up all the quests that have to deal with fiends, so that when I go do that rotation, I can maximize my rewards. I know some developers or games will want to steer you away from that because I guess they're wanting the game to have more longevity, but I feel like that will frustrate people more than anything. So we've actually tailored our quests in a way to help encourage what it is that you're talking about. So that's the Brute and the Fiend. Let's show you some other enemies. My favorite enemy by far. So like I said, the Swarm is the only one that are the same within Freedom City and Necropolis Desert. Oh my god, I'm out of ammo. Fuck. I can't play. Are there restrictions? I can't play it in the video. That's. I can't play it. It has to be in the NVIDIA library. That's why I'm asking. I don't know. Yeah, I can't really speak too much to that because I don't know anything about the service other than, you know, what I've heard from some YouTube videos or something. As a matter of fact, I really just only heard about this service a couple of days ago. Shit. I need ammo. Lots of it, actually. You don't have ammo. So, I need ammo. Each map has a gun vendor. Actually, the Santonia Islands does not have a gun vendor because there's no shooting in the islands. We have officially made the Santonia Islands the rest and relaxation place. There's no mobs in Santonia Island. There's just fun and sun in Santonia Islands. That was too bad. Let's see what else I need. I'm good on that. I'm pretty good with everything. Maybe I could use some of this. Well, actually, boom. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get 300, and I'm gonna put 100 of it in storage. I see, you guys see this, like when people are like, oh my god, wipe this, wipe that. It's like, dude, we gotta deal with the wipe too. So we'll put 100 of it in storage. But 250 of these. I hear a creeper. I hear a creeper. I hear a creeper. Son of a bitch is somewhere around here. Where is he? I bet you that's him right there. You matter of fact, see? Boom, creeper. Let's see him. Oh. Jesus. Oh my god. Run for your lives. Holy hell. So, you know, there's a reason why there's a skull icon there, right? Red name. I might die here. No, I'm not gonna die. I'm good. I'm good. I just need more space and stop fucking around. So, and see, harder enemy, better materia. So you can see that how much damage that one strike did, which is actually pretty freaking brutal. Holy cow. That was fucked up. You're doing great work and creating a nice piece of art. I'm happy you're doing because it's amazing work on the heart. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Mixon. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your kind words. Working super tough. You know, could we have put the game out earlier without adding these mobs? Yes, but obviously, as you guys are gonna see, because you know we played the game, and we just didn't feel like there was enough content. And you know, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And listen, we didn't want to have people saying, oh, there's 2 enemies that you can, you know, fight in this game. Are there more than 2 enemies? Yes, but technically from a mob standpoint, we just don't want people, you know, coming at us with that. And we just felt like, you know, the game needed more enemies. So that's what we did. And at the end, the people that are playing the open alpha will benefit from not having to farm the same 2 mobs over and over and over again. So now there's more mobs in very unique locations. So there's just way more content and stuff to do. And I feel like I'm happy with what we are asking people to play as far as an open alpha. I mean, there is a shit ton in this game. Is the game complete? No, it's not. Far from it. Is there enough for you to get, you know, hundreds of hours out of this game and have a great time? Absolutely. You know, I personally have like 7,500 hours in this game, obviously, because I'm a tester and stuff like that. But, you know, there are plenty of people that play this game and have gotten hundreds of hours out of it. And, you know what I mean? It's a free-to-play game. So I feel pretty happy and comfortable, you know, in that space. Did we have secondary gear stats in the last build? I can't remember. If we didn't, now we have secondary. No, I think we did. We have gear, comes in 3 different classes. Common, rare, epic. Also in 3 different tiers: tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So there's tons of different gears that you can farm, each with primary and secondary stats. So if there's a particular build you're going for, you can definitely go for it. Me personally, I'm trying to get my magic up as high as possible. You wouldn't be able to tell it now because my gear got wiped. But I'm going for a build that has as many magic secondary stats. I just don't really have a ton of gear right now to be able to flex like I could yesterday before the wipe. Alright, let's see if we can find some scavengers. So, we have opened up this entire area around the desert. So now it's not just what's in the middle of the desert. You can see the entire desert, all the way around, has stuff. So there is plenty to do in this, in the cropless desert. And I was checking to see. Oh man, I don't have my mount. I didn't equip my mount. Oh, speaking of which, so now you can do / change outfit and question mark. And so it shows me all the outfits that I that can be changed to. So I can say change. Jesus, can't type today. Let's say 40. So I'm in my Sailor Maiden outfit. So that's super convenient for me, especially if I'm in the Santonia Islands and what outfit did I have? Ice Queen. So basically, it's really helpful if
Cadet, I would strongly recommend returning back to Freedom City.
Don't you worry about me, Cortex.
Extremely powerful enemies. Your current
Okay,
power
so that
level isn't high enough for you to be in
is the
this
scavenger there.
You can view your power level by opening up your inventory. Your power level is
I didn't talk
located
about
at the
power
bottom
level.
of the gear stats panel.
Yeah, you can switch outfits now using that command. What will you guys do about damage numbers being so high? Overall numbers like you doing 150k damage. That's actually just a visual thing. So that's because it's something that I like personally. So there's a damage multiplier. The only thing it's really doing is it's taking the actual damage number and multiplying it by 1000, because there's some nerds like me that just like really like to see big damage numbers. Hey, this is our video game. We could do whatever the fuck we want, right? So the actual damage that you're doing to the enemy is not increased by checking this checkbox. It's just that instead of showing 100, it's going to show 100,000. And it does no damage at all. It just kind of gives you it's kind of like damage porn. Just makes you feel good about seeing these big damage numbers. And if you're talking about the physical size, or like the actual size of the numbers, you can customize that by just using the slider, damage number size. So this is the multiplier, and this is the slider. I have these. This is disabled by default. I have it checked because that's just what I like. So it's completely up to your preference, whatever you want to do there. Let's connect to PC. You should check it out. There's plenty of clips of Conan. Yeah, I know of Conan Exiles. Plenty of clips posted on our Discord. A bunch of people. I think our mod play. I'm not our mod. Our community manager plays Conan Exiles, and I've seen a bunch of videos, so I'm pretty well aware of it. Alright, so yeah, this scavenger. This one is so close that if I shoot the scavenger... Oh, that's the other thing, and we did this on purpose. Is so now mobs, even, they kind of have three states. One is that they're just sitting there. The other one is that they're roaming. And even if they're just sitting there so that they don't look super static, they will move just a little bit. And one of the reasons why we did that is like, let's say if I want to attack this group here, they're super high leveled, like really high level. Like if I pull 3 of these, I'm going to die 100%. But to give me a better chance, like this one, so you see it's like level 15, 16, and what is that other one? It's level 15. So they all red names. They all got the skull icons. But I may be able to wait. If I don't, well, first of all, I shouldn't even be here. The only reason why I'm here is because I'm showing you guys the mobs, right? But I know many of you are going to be trying to farm mobs that you shouldn't. So you see how now they're positioned where he's a little further away, so I can maybe try to snipe him and see, hopefully. Yeah, see, I didn't alert those. Yeah, I didn't. So I can go after him now and pick them off one by one. It's going to take a longer period of time. Oh, shit. So one-on-one, even though I took like a ridiculous amount of damage there. I did not mean to do that. I dropped that potion. Really, if you have to do this to engage with a mob, then you should not be engaging with this mob. You should be able to just rush in and take these guys head on. If you're not high enough level to do that, then you shouldn't be doing it. Okay. And really the only reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you the scavengers. So these are the scavengers. This is pretty much the second highest level enemy in the game today. So if you pick them off one by one, it's a possibility. But do you really want to be farming that slow? Right? So if you're asking me, the answer to that question is no. And then you have these guys. Actually, I'm not going to go for him. Not him. Not him. Does the change outfit use your saved colors? Yeah, I just saw that. So it's supposed to. Wait. It does. I just did not save any colors. So what you just saw, I'm going to check on it, but I'm pretty sure we're okay there. So basically, what Hikari is asking is when I did the change outfit and I changed back to this Ice Queen, it changed my colors to yellow primarily. I'm 99% sure that the reason why I did that was because I do not have any saved colors on the Ice Queen outfit. But I will check that. I actually noted that to test. I really need a mount to kind of... not him either. So the next enemy that I'm going to show you is the elementals. There are elementals in the main area of the map. Actually, I'll just show you these first. This makes more sense. Because it'll give me a... Look at those guys. These. So give me a chance to show you these. Oh, oh. Okay. That's not what I'm gonna be. Picking my spot. Yeah, I'm almost oh no, shit. I'm dead. Maybe not. I'm not dead. These interim levels help a lot. Okay, so these are the elementals. And that is a cube stack. So now, just like we have the physical crystals that you can destroy to give you materia, we also have these physical objects that you can destroy for the dark cubes. And just like the materia and their colors, they all match up to the type of dark cube or materia that they drop. So I'm gonna just try to pull one, because getting hit by these guys at a level 716 is pretty much means instant death. I'm dead. Ooh. You mad? You mad, bro? These are highly resistant to gunfire. That's another thing that we added with these new mobs, is that we can tailor their how susceptible they are to gunfire, because you know you got to get in there. So as you can see, it's proving to be fuck, I don't have enough time for any of that. Dead. Okay. So, alright. So, there's a couple of things. One is that was a pretty difficult fight. I needed... If you're going to go fight an elemental, you better have a lot of HP pots, shield pots, before you attempt to try to take on an elemental. In that area, there were 2 elementals. So not only would I have needed to take on one, I would have needed to take on 2 of them. And then I would need to get at that cube stack before the elementals respawned. So as you can see, and the reason why we kind of architected it this way is now, instead of just going to anywhere and doing anything, and the way we had previously was that, actually I don't want to be up here, is that for every episode, the mobs would scale. Basically, if I was on episode 1, I would be taking on level 1 mobs. Episode 5, level 5 mobs. Which really did not feel good as far as progression. So the change that we made now is that there are safe place areas for you to be in the maps, and there are places that are not safe. So as a player, I don't know what that does for you guys, but for me, I'm getting my ass handed to me here. I want to get stronger so that I can be here and whipping ass. So that gives me a goal. So now I know that I want to be farming in Freedom City, crafting, raising my skills, getting better gear, and that way I can come in here and I can kick some ass, because I'm just under leveled. I'm just not supposed to be here. So that gives me motivation to, you know, increase my character level, which is a pretty big deal. So that elemental was the last mob. I believe I've shown you guys all the mobs. And technically there's one more, but really is just the same mob, just on a different level. So what you just saw was a level 15 elemental that I just tried to tackle. What was the design process behind the superhuman flying in the angel wing, and are players able to choose to see wings displayed over the cape? Yeah, you can hide the wings or the capes. You could do any of that stuff. as far as was the process for designing the superhuman flying. I would say that's actually a pretty good question. That's a kind of a really technical question. Flying in this game, in my opinion, because I've seen a lot of AAA companies struggle, like really struggle with flying. And I'm not 100% sure why. Like there was this really funky system that they were using in what's the name of that game? I can actually show you better how fluid the flying is and how really responsive the flying is in our game in the city area. It's hard to tell what I'm even doing in this sand area because you don't see any buildings or anything. But the primary goal with the flying was it to feel natural and for it to be responsive and for it not to feel like a challenge. We didn't want flying to be a challenge. Neither did we want gliding to be a challenge. Gliding is just, you just hit spacebar, your wings come out, and then you can just point in a direction. So, I mean, yeah, we just wanted it to be fun. I mean, because flying is supposed to be fun. And we didn't want it to be challenging. So that was, every decision we made on the flying was based around that. Okay, so the last elemental I fought was a level 15. These are ancient elementals. They are 3 times the size and they are level 200. So from 15 to 200. Good luck with this son of a bitch. It is possible for you to kill them, but this is like some next level end game level shit. Alright? So they are, if you can see the size difference, they're much bigger, they hit way harder, and they're much more resistant. But I will not say what gear they drop, what loot they drop. But it's good loot. It's well worth the amount of time to take one of these guys on. One suggestion that I will give you is if you try to take on an ancient elemental, bring a lot of shield potions, bring a lot of HP potions, and use the transporter. So basically, if I'm trying to take this guy on, I really shouldn't be giving this information, but hell, I'm gonna give it anyway. If I'm gonna try to take this guy on, the very first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark my location using a transporter. So now that I've marked this location using a transporter, when I die, not if I die, when I die. Well, maybe some of you if, but you know. I can get back to wherever I was using that transporter. So that's tip number 1. Actually, I could place that transporter a little closer. So when we have multiplayer, sure, but right now there's no multiplayer, so no. But that will be one of the fun things, is joining with a friend. So that encourages you guys to support us. You know what I mean? Support, you know, supporting us will allow us to do many, I mean, there's 3 people doing the stuff that you've seen. So if we have support, we have an actual staff, we can get more people. You know what I mean? And we really need to stop saying 3 people. Now it's actually 4, well, it's 3 developers, but it's 4 people, along with Hikari. So it's 3 developers, 1 community manager. So we need to kind of either be specific and say it's 3 devs or 4 people. Sorry about that, Hikari, because that's kind of rude. But I'm actually gonna put this transporter a little closer. Okay, so now, you know what I mean, I can get, I mean, for you to see the distance, the map doesn't even go out as far, the distance I traveled. Basically, I traveled from here to like all the way, can you guys see my mouse? Yeah, way beyond here. was how far I traveled in an instant. So for those of you sleeping on a transporter, don't. Okay, let's see how long it takes for us to die. Fuck. So, you know, I can revive and I can get back in the fight. But this is not a fight that I'm gonna win. I'm not gonna win this fight. This is stupid. Lol. Lol. Yeah, so this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna win this fight. There's no point in doing it. I need way better gear. I don't even have a pendant. I have like some T1, you know, I got a T1 helmet that has like two defense. You know, my gear. You know, I did look out and get some good T2 gear at some point, but you know, my gear is just not where it needs to be. This is not even like a build. I don't really have a build. There's nothing. I'm just trying to put the best that I have in here that I've gotten. So it's just not gonna work. So I may be showing you guys too much. This is the last thing I'll show you. So this is basically the den for the B class materia reserves. So you'll see them down there. And this is all of what I gotta take on just to be able to get to those reserves down there. And the A class materia is even worse. So good luck penetrating. And remember, for those of you who think, well, I'm just gonna snipe this from afar, materia, you go through a whole cache of ammunition before you do any damage on these things. You gotta get in closer. So good luck with that. Give me 1 second here. Just write down some of these, because I'm supposed to be testing. So test, change outfit. I think that's it. Does the mob's HP reset when you die? No. Well, no, except for the Union. Oh, and speaking of which, the threat level works the same as in Freedom City. So whenever you kill mobs, the threat level will go up, and when the threat level reaches full, the Union will spawn. Just writing down some notes. Okay. So actually, yeah, I don't want to show too much more because I let you guys explore and kind of figure some of this stuff out yourself. But you know, it's cool to show you some of this stuff. And you know, more quests. Like I said, there's 45 side quests. In episode 2, there's 16 main quests. The challenges have all been updated to include, the daily challenges have been updated to include the new mobs. The achievements have been updated to include the new mobs. So I've killed 403 remains, I've killed 225 filth, 123 swarm, 34 bombers. So we've actually updated these achievements. And there's like a ton of other stuff that we've done. I mean, it'd be impossible for me to just remember. Like I said, there's probably like 120 or so issues in that release notes list to see what all we changed and added and all that good stuff. Alright, so let's go to, actually hold on. No, first let me go here first. I'm going to equip my mount. And then we'll go to the Santonia Islands. Use the Force. I have a specific build that I'm using there for my skills. But you know, what I thought was the meta isn't the meta anymore because we've done some tweaks. We've got EX Trigger now, which people can use. EX Trigger is really good to be used on high level enemies if you upgrade it. Dr. Fang's quest is fixed. I did test that yesterday. I tested that yesterday. And there's a clear path to doing the biosamples quest now. So that's fixed. We actually wanted to do the gym facility. You know, people are gonna be like, why did you do that? We had the choice to either do one or two things: the gym facility or guard duty. Which I say that now, and it's like we actually disabled guard duty because it had so many bugs. But we will get it fixed for the next build, and guard duty will be back. But we opted for guard duty because we wanted more things. Our game didn't have anything. This was the same time that we implemented fishing. And we wanted to purposefully add some mechanics that players could use to play AFK, to do AFK gold farming. So we decided with guard duty and fishing. But you know, all that stuff is, you know, there'll always be opportunities to add that in the future. It's just what's the most important things to add right now. Yeah, we'll get those links fixed. I mean, you know, the Twitch stuff, I'm surprised nobody, and I've probably already missed it by now, somebody saying that this stuff is out of date. For the chill streams, we just jump on and stream. You know, I have not gotten to the point where I can break off the time to clean up the Twitch images and links and everything. I'm probably not going to do that until Moobot gets nerfed, now that I know that's... No, we'll definitely do it before that. Moobot's going to get nerfed at the end of February. So, we'll get all that stuff cleaned up. We'll get the links cleaned up and all that stuff. We'll get that done, you know, soon enough. So I am going to H. Oh my god, this was an hour ago. I'm really sorry for missing this. H, it just says H period. Thank you so much for joining Maiden Plus. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting our development. That's amazing. Go with that one. This one is my favorite one anyway. And the alpha really doesn't matter because I can switch while I'm there, but... Oh, we're going to test that, right? So I'm going to change this to all white, and I'm going to save it. And let's say I do this one, and then let me take this cape off and make sure that this is auto hide, this is auto hide, and this is auto hide. Yeah, I think we're good. So if I now change to yeah, works. See, so that's the white color. So which is the saved one. So you just have to, you know, figure out what your saved outfit colors are. Time to go to the beach. We have something that we're working on right now that I feel like is gonna be a total game changer. Outside of, and I know I've said this before, but right now the emotes interface that we have is total garbage. I don't like it at all. So basically today you go into character customization, you click on a button that's not even dedicated to emotes, it's really dedicated to voice, and we just had to happen to put emotes in there because there was no other place to put it. And then under the voice section is a section for emotes which allows you to assign from 1 to whatever the number is, which emote you want to assign to the key bindings of H, J, and K, or whatever keys you put in key binding. We are cleaning that all up, and not only are we cleaning it up, we are going to come back with a system and a mechanic, and I am not overhyping this. Maybe I should stop.
A little early for rest and relaxation, don't you think, Cadet?
No, bitch.
We should probably get back to
it's time
City.
To go swimming and you know, frolicking around in my bikini, using my jet ski. My mount is a jet ski. It's time for all of that. Don't be telling me it's too early for rest and relaxation. What are you talking about? No. But anyway, like I was saying before, let's just say we're gonna clean that up, and I believe we're gonna come back with something that's gonna be really fun for you guys. I'll just leave it there. I will just leave it there. Easy. But I'm on the wrong side. Yeah. They're not over here. I'm trying to look for the cabanas. I am on the wrong side, chat. Do a barrel roll. We actually, the first system that we had barrel rolls, actually. We took them out. Wait a minute, see, I gotta figure out where the hell I'm at. Sitting there talking to chat. I'm going in the wrong direction. The first system we did have we had barrel rolls. But we didn't have, the hover bike isn't tweaked enough to be able to start doing that kind of stuff. Barrel rolls and tricks and all that kind of stuff is stuff that you add once the actual maneuverability of the bike is where it needs to be. It's not right now. I mean, it's much improved. We did a lot of improvements, like in this build. But it's still not where it needs to be. Once we get there, we'll do more stuff. Boom. Like a glove. Wait, no. Alright, good. There you go. Good job. Alright, well, actually, I already have what I need. Of these fish are high. Nice. First try. All right. I'm going to take a little break while I'm AFK fishing. And just leave it right here. There you go. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Yeah, that's an animation bug. What bug? Those boats don't look bigger to me. They definitely are. You could, if I went to them, you see I could stand in them and they're appropriate size. Maybe you could see because I was speeding past them too fast. Okay, wait. Now you're making me want to go test that. Hold on. Nah, you know what? Nah, I'm pretty confident about that. You can test it when you start playing. Let me see. Did I miss anything? Okay, yeah, I think all the stuff's answered there. Okay, chat. I'm gonna take a little break, just a couple of minutes, get some more water, use the bathroom, and I will be back.
emerges from beneath the sand. The instant it me grows seems so far away. Across this universe, she lives another day. I know the reason she stays. I know the reason she's so far away. I know the reason she stays. I know the reason she's so far away. Nico, how can we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step to fall. Nico, how can we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step. Nico, how I know the reason she stays. Nico, how I know the reason she's so far away. Nico, how I know the reason she stays. Nico, how I know the reason she
I'm back. I am back.
Excellent.
1 second here, guys. Okay, so one of the questions you guys might be asking is, how do you know whether or not you are, because with a lot of these changes, one of the big focuses not being in the wrong spot so that you don't get killed. So we have this new power level here, and the power level basically takes into account, you know, the skills, your skills you have unlocked and leveled up, the gear that you're wearing, all that will come into play, and it'll calculate this score. Now obviously over time we'll tweak how the score is calculated, so this is basically the first revision of the algorithm that will determine what your power level is. So 4,000, a 4K power level is pretty low. 9K is pretty high. You can be above 9K. So that will give you a way, as you a gauge as you are getting new gear and equipping new gear and foraging new gear, to figure out, you know, where you are as far as your power level. So this is what you want to be looking at here. Basically, I have a 4,381 power level. And so you'll see that if I come over here and pull out some dark cubes, and let's say I take this piece of gear out and I put it in the forge and I enhance it. So I enhance to a +8, T1 +8. And so if I equip this back, I'm at 43,090, 4,390. So, fuck 3 in a row, your side is rigged. Well, this is a T1, and also it was already, what was it? It was a +3. So on the lower end of that scale, I got my login time bonus. On the lower end of that scale, it's going to be easier to forge. So I would disagree. I think the cosmetics are very cheaply priced. They're very, I wouldn't even say reasonably priced. I would say cheaply priced. When you're considering that A, it's a free-to-play game. You have to spend $0 to play the game in its entirety. And then on top of that, I think if you look at some of the tables that some of the users have put up in Discord, especially in comparison to some other games, like a Black Desert outfit will cost you like $20, which is freaking ridiculous. But our outfits are much cheaper than that, and even cheaper when you buy bulk diamonds. So we think they're super reasonably priced. So the cabanas, there's a couple of cabanas. This is a pretty cool spot, if you guys have not found it. So there's two cabanas near each other with a shared inventory, a storage over here. There's another island over here. Oh, let me check this boat. Yep, it definitely sized up. Really cool for taking pictures and stuff. And especially with our new edition, these areas will be even more fun on the new thing that we're talking about, that we're working on, that, you know, I won't talk too much about. And another one on a kind of this really cool looking point here. Looks pretty cool. And then the last cabana spot is over here. And this spot is super cool. Because it's actually a cabana in the water. And what's really cool about this spot is you can fish off of it. That's really cool. And the scenery is just really nice. To getting all the cost like this is really very expensive. Really better than buying it bulk. You know, I'm reading chat. Sorry. Lungs of steel. Yeah, we don't. You know, we're not trying to kill you underwater. They're super maidens, so yeah, they could swim underwater forever. Alright, one of the other things I need to test is battle mode. Because we did kind of jack that up on the last build. So I'm actually going to... Let me see, is there anything else to show in here? Don't think so. I will say though, if we do get the support on that we need, having, you know, multiplayer and like war maidens populating this area, that would be, and fishing and laying out and having fun. Oh, that's not this build. On the next build, we're going to add the jukebox receivers in every single one of the cabanas, so you'll be able to play the jukebox. And we're gonna also fix the jukebox because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So you'll be able to play the radio stations while you're kind of laying out and having fun over here. So that'll be cool. But again, that's not in this build. That'll be in the next build. Battle mode is on level 15 though. Battle mode is only on level... what do you mean by battle mode is on level 15? And again, no enemies in this area. It's all fun, rest, and relaxation. Battle mode is max level. So you gotta... So if you go to game options, so that's part of the game option. So basically hard difficulty level will say versus mode enemies begin battles at max level. So if you don't want that, you've got to fall back to intermediate. Intermediate versus mode enemy level scale with the player's awakening level. And easy is they start with level 1 and they level up just like you. So that's how you want to work that. The jukebox kind of is like a Spotify service. There's a bunch of different stations that are curated. So it's not like you'd really know the difference whether it was an actual Spotify or not. But it is how would you describe, like top 40 or top 10, or like the actual music you would hear on the radio and stuff like that. So all right, I am going to go into battle mode. Is cubes to guard level still active? Inactive, yes. That won't be coming back for a while. If it ever does come back. It might come back, but definitely won't be coming back for a while. All right. We added, obviously you can see we updated the artwork rewards. Some of them we've gotten to be live 2D, not all of them. We're working on it, but as you'll see, so these are all updated.
Congratulations.
So that we also updated. It's I mean, gliding, flying, it depends. Are you also talking about gliding? What class? Different classes fly at different speeds, so it's, I mean, there's definite benefit to having the mount, but it really depends on your class. Assassins fly the fastest, tanks fly the slowest, so it really just depends on a bunch of different things. It's a good question. Motherfucker. I just fucking bought this one. Holy fuck. I just bought this one. Oh, that sucks. I should have opened up the crates before I bought that one. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. What? I mean, we wanted to make a game that you know, had really sexy characters that had really cool action combat. That was initially, you know, the idea. And funny enough, I saw this video from an animator. I think he actually passed away. I could be wrong about this. But I'm trying to remember what his name was. He created an animation. It's a really popular YouTube video. If you guys haven't seen it, you should see it. It's called Dead Fantasy. And holy cow, I saw this video and I just flipped the fuck out. I was like, this is the coolest thing that I've ever seen. And if you see in Dead Fantasy, the I think it's the Dead or Alive girls are fighting the, what is it? I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, Monty Unum or something. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah. It's the Dead or Alive girls are fighting. It's girls from a different Final Fantasy girls. The Dead or Alive girls are fighting the Final Fantasy girls. And I just like flipped out. I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. The sound effects, the fighting, everything. And I was just like, I want to make a game like this. So I was like, this is the game I want to make. I want to make this, but a video game. Now, we kind of went in a different direction, but initially, it was this idea of creating a really cool action combat game with really sexy characters that you could customize. And then it was just fueled by, you know, a passion to make a really good game with really sexy characters. And then over time, there's different things that influence the game, obviously. But that was kind of the motivating factor. Because we were developers. Not we were developers, we are developers. But we used to work as commercial developers. Meaning, we weren't developers that did cool stuff. We just did like the most boring fucking development imaginable, like warehouse management applications, you know, mobile device applications, you know, data collection, inventory, stuff like that. So software development, but it was just fucking boring, really boring shit. So developing wasn't so much of an issue. The ability wasn't an issue. The real thing was, how do we harness our efforts into making something that's viable? Because like a lot of people mistakenly will not think about that stuff. It's like, oh, I just want to make a cool game with sexy girls, and not really understand that, you know, hey, you're not going to be making cool games for long if you don't have like a solid plan. So we really worked to try to get try to meld those ideas, and that, hey, we want to create something sexy, something cool, but we also got to know that, listen, if we don't make something that's going to be profitable, then, you know. So a lot of people are like, oh my god, you're trying to make money. And it's like, of course we're trying to make money. If you don't make money, you can't continue to do the things that you love. Unfortunately, it costs money to make a game, so the game has to make money. But really, that's the undercurrent that's fueling your ability to do what you love. And that's kind of how it works. Somebody on Steam, probably should bring this up, but fuck it, it's not that big a deal. Somebody on Steam was like, oh, they won't release the game and they have a whole shop in the game already. It's like, holy shit. Motherfucker, what exactly are you expecting somebody to do? Like, seriously. You think that it makes a whole lot of sense, just like basic common sense, to develop a game just willy-nilly and have like zero game plan? So that's what you want? You just want us to create a game, not have any thought process or not a fleshed out plan about how it's going to sustain and remain alive? That's what you want? So when I hear stuff like that, it just makes me chuckle and laugh. And I do a pretty good job these days. I used to not be as good now, but now I try my best. And when, you know, things come across, you know, it's just super professional and respond professional. And I think I'm very happy with the progress that I've made. Because like, people don't understand that it's work and a process to develop a game. But at the same time, this is something I really did not realize. is that there's also work and a process to all parts of the game, meaning even dealing with, you know, potential players and customer service and all that kind of stuff. That takes work. Thank God we had closed alpha. Because me, at the beginning of this, I've grown tremendously when it comes to not only the game has improved, but my ability to facilitate, deal with players, be helpful, and communicate in a professional manner, in being understanding of their issues. All that stuff comes with time. Everybody would look at a dev and think that just, oh, you're a dev, boom, you're supposed to be perfect. That's not the way humans work. Like, devs are human beings. They make mistakes. They do things incorrectly. If you're a smart dev, you'll learn from them, and you'll just try not to make make the same mistake again, and you just do better. So as a developer, I know I personally have grown tremendously through this process, and I wouldn't have had the ability to do that without us having this closed alpha phase. So the same as our ability to provide service, customer service has improved. You know, we brought on Hikari. She's helped tremendously. She's done an amazing job. Very much appreciate the work that she's done and the help that she's provided. And at the same time, the game is improved. You know, we've added more stuff to the game. You know, it's just all, you know, coming together. And none of that, and the community is growing. It's like every time I'm jumping on, it's like, oh my God, there's like tons of people that are, you know, joining the community or whatever. So we're just happy with the growth. Happy with the progress in the game. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're really looking forward to getting it out for everybody to play. Whoa. Thank you very much. A lot of that came with community feedback, by the way. You know, the butt jiggling was a demand that we did not have at some point. We didn't have it, and then we added it, and then we took it out, and then we brought it back. So, but I mean, everything, the character itself. I mean, if I showed you the original models, you'd be like, what? So, you know, it's just been a continual improvement. Okay, so this, I always play with enemies leveled maxed out. So losing happens a lot. It's not a good idea.
An allied turret is under attack. An enemy turret is under attack.
Yeah, this is not looking good already. Yeah, when you play with enemies are maxed out, it's a rough go. There's a high likelihood of losing. I'm dead. Damn it. I suck. Finally. man. Give me that XP. Okay, we started to get smashed. I did. We might get smashed here. If I can get this sniper shot, at least one of them. Yeah, somebody else in chat can help you with the damage numbers. I've explained that quite a few times. Basically, the damage numbers are configurable. They're that big because I like them that big.
An allied turret is under attack. An allied turret is under attack.
An enemy has been slain.
Oh my OMG!
An enemy has been slain.
The problem is when they're max level, they will kill you really fast.
An enemy has been slain.
So you gotta keep your distance, build up that XP. You don't get XP for flipping tanks. Unless you're slashing them. Doing some combo to them. Right now, really the focus is to build up an... Oh my god. Oh, this bug is still in here. And I'm gonna die. Oh my god, no. Not like this. To die. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'll definitely blame the bug. Yeah, we're gonna wear.
Allied turret has been destroyed.
An enemy has been slain.
This is not good.
Replenish your energy. The allied core under attack.
An enemy has been slain. Dominated.
Okay, we might be okay here. God, that is just all super brutal.
A new lane is active. Go back to base and use the launcher launcher to get to the active lane.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. Alright, we got that.
An enemy turret is under attack.
An enemy has been slain. Dominate.
Boom.
Go back to base and use the launcher to get to the active lane.
I wouldn't say it's OP necessarily, because if you use tanks, you should be there to defend them, to prevent them from getting flipped, right? And the only time I would flip tanks is early on. Okay, hold on. Fuck!
Has been slain.
The only time I would flip tanks early on is because
An enemy turret is under attack.
it'd be too difficult to kill them. Why do I have transporters? I need to take that off. Oh, I can also show you guys the new loadouts. Not right now, though.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally
Fucking
has been
hell.
slain. An enemy has been slain.
Yeah, if you're gonna deploy tanks, you need to defend them. It is 1-to-1. We have slightly more XP. Yeah, the max level on the enemies. It's tough. It is a tough go. You'll die quick, obviously. You gotta play differently. You have to be really careful.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Jesus. Stop shooting at this guy. We didn't get what we needed there.
Lane is active. Go back to base and use the launcher to get to the active lane.
Onto the middle lane. Okay, so what I was going to show real quick is that, so now we have loadout 1, loadout 2, and loadout 3, and you can use those loadouts at will. So they're not specific to any specific stage. Oh my god, they're flipping cars down there? No, no.
An enemy has been slain.
Fuck, I saw that too. I saw it too.
An ally has been slain.
An allied turret is under attack.
An enemy has been slain.
Oh, look, I died.
An enemy turret is under attack.
She's like, no. And they, oh, I should have went, oh man, you know what? Work. I might be able to save this, maybe. Should be able to.
An enemy has been slain.
Yep. That missile shot helped. Nope. It's not a good idea. Okay, here's what I need. Shield. So this is the last lane alive. So it'll go till somebody wins it. So this is like ultimate tug of war.
Slain.
So this will continue until somebody wins. Oh my god. And it's looking like that might not be me. Oh my god, so close.
An enemy has been slain.
Charge! Oh my god, there's nobody here. Oh my god, can we get it? We're not gonna get this, there's no way. We got it, we got it. Boom, baby. We got it. Come back.
Go back to base and use the launcher to get to the active lane. Enemy turret is under attack.
Concentrating.
Enemy core is under attack.
Oh shit. Dead. Fuck. We're still up at least. I was gonna do the skill on the ground. That's why I was looking up. Because I was waiting for them to come down. I was gonna put down Hellstorm on him, but I fell off the bridge. And the defenses are back up. Fuck. I could have won the I would have won the game on that push there. 1 minute 30. How many War Maidens up? 1. Is that theirs? That's theirs. That's 2. All 3 of them up down there. Yeah, we're not gonna. There's no way.
8, 7, 6.
Oh, match is over.
4.
Oh, match is 20 minutes.
2, 1. Match terminated.
Damn, so close. So close. That one went the limit. That one went the limit. So, you know, fuck you with your D rank. I thought that did pretty good. So, I play on hard because it's more challenging. I like the challenge. I like being challenged, almost losing, trying to come back, getting my ass whipped. It's difficult, you know? So, you know, you can play hard mode if you want. But I like the fact that AI that we developed is so challenging that I'm like super intense trying to beat it. It feels like a real competitive match. So, you know, if you don't want it that hard, then just fall back to intermediate or easy. And there you go. All right, so yeah, I think we might be. Yeah, and that's another thing. I didn't really take advantage of my assets, right? I didn't spawn different assets there. So there was a couple of things that happened there that I wanted to take note of. Give me 1 second. No, they can't. But that's definitely something that we can add. We have to loop. I mean, the sad thing to say about that is we've added a ton of stuff to this game, a lot. We have not done much on battle mode in quite some time. What that mode you just saw has been in the game for some time and hasn't had that many updates. And that's just because there's so many other things to work on. But we do eventually plan to add, to, you know, fix bugs in there and add some more stuff in there. One of the things being that today in battle mode, the enemy only uses 2 attacks. They use rapid fire projectile and they use large projectile attack. We want to teach them to use guns, revive, execute, you know, teach them all that stuff. So, I mean, that stuff is definitely planned, definitely something we're going to do. It's definitely on the list. It just really depends on having the time to be able to do that stuff. So, all right, I think that is going to wrap it up for me today. The rest of the stuff that I'll test, I will test offline. But yeah, we are very much looking forward to you guys playing. With every other build, we feel like we've got stuff, you know, down pat and working pretty well, and then we pull it out, and then all of a sudden somebody finds some critical bugs. So, fully expect that there will be some patch. You know, the last build we broke battle mode, and we should have been ready for a patch. but we were so confident about that build that we were like, nah, we don't need to be on deck for a patch. That again comes with being in closed alpha and understanding how that cycle works. We will never make that mistake again, because we thought that build was pretty solid and it ended up having some pretty bad issues. So we for sure will be ready and on deck for a patch after this build comes out, no matter how solid we feel about it, and in moving forward. But yeah, we look forward to you guys playing with the new mechanics, the new setup, taking on the new mobs. We think they're a whole bunch of fun. You will enjoy playing them, and yeah. So the build will go out tomorrow. Yeah, it's still Friday, so tomorrow evening sometime. And we will post on the Discord. If you guys are not following the stream, please click the follow button. It costs 0 to follow, so there's no reason. If you're interested in the game, you're interested in the development and our process and our progress, then just click on the follow button so that you can get a notification anytime that we stream. Also, we post a lot of exclusive content in our Discord, so definitely join our community on Discord. There's plenty of really useful information, as well as a ton of exclusive content that we put in there anytime we put out a new outfit, preview pictures, or anything like that. So if you are not following the stream, follow the stream, follow the channel. If you are not a member of our Discord, please take the time to join our Discord. It will be definitely worth the join. So definitely do that. And as always, we post all of our announcements inside Discord, but we also post on Twitter. So if you do have a Twitter, then definitely follow us on Twitter, and you can stay up to date on all news League of Maidens. Alright, so again, thank you very much, guys, for checking out the game. We appreciate you and your support. Thank you for everybody that signed up for Maiden Plus during the stream. We really appreciate that, and we appreciate you guys supporting our development. And yeah, it was super cool. I had fun coming back on to do this chill stream. So thank you guys for joining and checking it out. Peace.